yeah, right.
And feel free if you don't want to get rid of your process
For
or
sure.
give it up. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about, I guess, 5 years in LA. I did it for about like a year up in my hometown. But I wasn't really directing photography at the time. I was kind of just like operating cameras. I guess it was more like videography. Um, yeah, and I just like moved down here and kind of just a bunch of happy accidents. I just ended up doing it a lot more than I guess I originally thought I would be, but I always I always was definitely very interested in like camera side of production. But yeah, it wasn't really until I moved to LA where I like figured out exactly what I wanted to do, and then that was about 5 years ago. And yeah,
And that's DP.
yeah, directing photography. I mean, I enjoy other sides of camera department also, just because I really like cameras. But directing photography is like what I'm like passionate about. You know, she's like,
Just kidding. Cinematic, go back.
just because like I don't know, I enjoy lighting a lot, and other sides of camera department aren't really involved in that. Like directing photography is the only one that like connects the two worlds. Other than that, you're pretty much like one side or the other. And I've spent some time in G&E also. But yeah, I like directing photography the most out of anything ever. So
That's cool. What's your process?
process for what?
Like when you get on set and to get the look that you want?
Yeah, for sure. So I usually break down a script. I kind of have this like system that I made up where I like highlight different things within the script based on like I'll highlight things a certain color where it's like where I have for ideas that I basically want to pitch to a director. I have another color for like questions or things that I think will be like problematic and etc. And yeah, I don't know. I break down the script and then I mean I first just read it and make sure I understand the story really well. And then because I never want what I'm doing to get in the way of what the story is, even if I'm like craving to shoot something that looks a certain way or whatever, I always try to like not ruin the movie by like trying to make it look a certain way just because I think it like looks cool or whatever. I found myself doing that like when I was first doing this when I was younger. Um, but yeah, I kind of just make sure I understand the story, and then a big part of it is locations also, and just kind of seeing like what we're working with already. And once I see what things look like, then I'll read the script again with the physical locations in mind, and then start to get some like imagery in my head. And then I usually, watch a few movies that I think are like similar tone, and I go on Shot Deck and kind of make a lookbook of like things that I think are like similar tone, just to get my mind in the right space. And I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna do this, and this is kind of like my plan. And it's a lot. It's very like instinctual. But yeah, and then once I'm at that stage and I've kind of like decided what I kind of want to go with, I just get more and more specific pretty much, and I just like break down the scenes, usually in my head. I mean, for a movie, for a short, I'll have it all mapped out even before we start production. For a movie, it'll be like I'll kind of do it like weeks at a time. I'll be like, okay, this is the first week. Like I'll land on the overall look, and then I'll start to break down like how I'm gonna do it, kind of week by week. And yeah, I just kind of like look at locations and see what they have to offer, and then I kind of just like see what feels right. And it always changes. It's never like what I planned for. But I think it's good to have a plan, and even if things change, it's good to know the script well enough so that like when things do change, they're in a beneficial direction. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the most important thing to me is like before I start shooting something, I have to be able to like visualize everything. Like when I'm reading a script and I like can't imagine what a scene looks like I know I have more pre-production to do pretty much. Like it's like I know I'm ready when I like read a script and I almost see the whole movie already, even though it never ends up looking exactly like that. That's just kind of like where I feel comfortable starting. And yeah, I mean, I'll make like lighting plans and stuff depending on like the size of a project, or like, if I have like a bigger lighting team, sometimes I'll make lighting plans just so like everyone's kind of on a similar page. But also, it's like if I have a gaffer that I have a good relationship with, I'll definitely like provide them a lot of collaboration and freedom and just kind of being like, yeah, if there's someone that I work with and I trust with more, I'll involve them much more in that kind of thought process. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's really good.
Sick.
Good information.
Dude, yeah.
Lastly, what inspires you?
I guess just other movies. I guess I'm probably most inspired by people, not even like specifically in film. But yeah, just people. Like, and I've always been really interested by people, and I guess just like other artists, and like even sometimes they do something that doesn't necessarily like relate to what I do, but like I find some sort of like inspiration of like their process or like their drive or whatever. And also I'm surrounded by a lot of people that have similar passions to I do, so that I feel like I'm always inspired by people. What's up, dude? But yeah, I try to find inspiration everywhere. Ow.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.